Welcome to this training on form validations in OutSystems. We will cover three things: built-in validations that OutSystems performs automatically, custom validations you configure yourself, and how validation messages are shown to users. Every example in this deck is taken directly from the Service Studio screenshots used in the original training material. Every form is a chance for users to make mistakes. Input fields can have different data types, they can depend on other fields, or they can require rules that are specific to your business. This order form, with fields like due date, status, and requested by, is the example we will use throughout this training. OutSystems gives you built-in mechanisms to handle all of these cases. Built-in validations happen automatically, with no logic required from you. In Service Studio, the input_date widget has its input type set to date and mandatory set to true, both highlighted here. That combination alone means the form will block submission until a valid date is entered. The Save button on our order form has an on-click action, Savian click, and its built-in validations property is set to yes. That single setting tells OutSystems to run all the built-in checks, mandatory fields, and data types automatically whenever this button is clicked. Here is a real example from the action flow. When the due date is not in the present or future, the flow routes to an assign node that sets input_date.valid to false and sets input_date.validation message to the text due date cannot be in the past. That is the entire pattern for a custom validation. Catch the bad case, mark the input invalid, and explain why. This is the complete action flow from the training example. It chains three checks in sequence: is the due date in the present or future, is the shipped date before the due date, and finally, is FORM1 valid overall. Only when all three pass does the flow reach order_create or update. If any single input is not valid, form1.valid is automatically false. Remember that property can never be set directly, only computed from its inputs. Here is that same if node in Service Studio. Its condition is set to form1.valid, and the expression builder confirms the expression is valid and of type Boolean, pointing at widgets, form1, valid. You should check this even when you have zero custom validations, simply to avoid storing or manipulating invalid data. OutSystems performs the validation automatically, but leveraging that result in your logic is still up to you, the developer. This is the actual result. Due date shows February 23, 2021, but because that date is in the past, the field gets a red border and the message due date cannot be in the past appears right underneath it. Every other valid input, like description or status, just displays as a regular widget with no extra styling. To recap, built-in validations run automatically for mandatory fields and data types. Custom validations run in the action flow, where you set valid to false and provide a validation message. Form.valid combines every input automatically. You should always check it, but you can never set it directly. And whenever valid is false, OutSystems takes care of styling the widget and showing the message when the user focuses on it. That is form validation in OutSystems.